Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Pauper. We are doing Dimir Spirits, but this is a very different list from the one I've run previously because there's a lot of cards that I want to try out. It is still Dimir Spirits, trying to discard the Eidolons and get them back to hand over and over for a lot of value, but I've also added a Madness sub-theme. So we have Kitchen Imp, Dark Withering, and Circular Logic that we're going to be discarding and trying to madness for a very cheap value. Of course, this deck has been made quite a bit better by Abandoned Attachments. This being an instant also really helps the madness theme work. So we can instant out our Dark Withering or, of course, our Circular Logic. I also saw somebody else trying Tolarian Winds, and I figured we'd give it a try, which is 2 mana instant, discard all the cards in your hand, then draw that many cards. This can work like an Abandoned Attachments. On turn 2, discarding 1 or more snackers, and then returning them to the battlefield right away. If we have enough mana, though, this could also madness out multiple madness cards at instant speed, which seems pretty sweet. We also, of course, have 3 Dahada's Ploy, which can also discard any number of these madness spells, and I'm also playing 4 Knife Trick as our main removal, other than Dark Withering. This is a sorcery, so it doesn't work with the Circular Logic, but would still work with Kitchen Imp or Dark Withering. It's also a multicolored spell, so it's going to bring back our Eidolons, even if we discard them to the Knife Trick specifically. This is also a way we can discard a Sneaky Snacker on turn 1, and then if we have like an Abandoned Attachments or Tolarian Winds, and maybe another snacker, we can get multiple of them out right away. Tolarian Winds can also discard a whole bunch of spirits all at once to the Shipwreck Sifters to grow them. So if we have 2 or 3 or 4 Eidolons, it can grow the Sifters really big all at once, which is pretty sweet. And we're still playing a couple Vampire Hounds to also use those Eidolons in our hands. We have 4 Lorien Revealed, 2 Contaminated Aquifer, 2 Dismal Backwater, a Dimir Aqueduct, because that can bounce a land that you can discard to our various effects, then a bunch of basic lands. Sideboard is Blue Elemental Blast, Arms of Hadar, Suffocating Fumes, Last Rite, Extract Confession, Nihil Spellbombs, and Duress. So I'm pretty excited to try out some of these new cards. Let's take it for a league and see how we do. Also, just realized I was still at 61 cards from when I brewed the deck. I'm going to cut one of the Dahada's Ploys. It is extremely strong in the deck, but the 3 mana is often a little awkward. It's possible that getting rid of a Tolarian Winds would be a better choice, but it's a new card I'm trying out. So we'll do the Ploy for now, and I'll always change that later if it doesn't seem to be right. Alright, this hand does not have an exceptional snacker start or anything like that, but it just looks pretty reasonable, so we'll go ahead and give it a try. And Avacyn's Pilgrim usually means walls. That's a nice draw, because I kind of want to just shoot this with the Knife Trick, because Knife Trick can kill Axebane Guardian, but not like an Overgrown Battlements, so it can't kill everything. I probably want to slow down their mana. Maybe I just save it for the Axebane, actually. Yeah, I guess there's also Quirion Ranger. There's better hits for sure. I could keep them off 3 mana on turn 2, but the worst thing they can play on turn 2 for 3 mana is an Axebane Guardian, and I can just shoot that. I was excited at first, but I think it makes sense to sandbag it now. They do have the Quirion Ranger, although it looks like they might only have the 1 forest, so maybe I regret this a little bit. And there's the Overgrown Battlement. Could have kept them on 1 mana. Always listen to your gut. Now I gotta kill the Ranger to keep them on 3 instead of 5. I think that's right. Discard the Eidolon, it comes right back like a little boomerang, or a yo-yo. Yo-yo Eidolon. Eidolon. Nailed it. We have a Tinder Wall, then a Lead the Stampede. Revealing Nyxborn Hydra, Overgrown Battlement, Stormshriek Pharaoh. We get another Knife Trick. Could shoot the Tinder Wall, put him back to 3 mana. This is definitely a match where this being a cast down would have been better. Just kill the battlements. I think here we play Sifters and then see what we draw, but I probably discard the Knife Trick. Or rather, I cast the Knife Trick. Discard this guy. Kill the Tinder Wall, they have 3 mana. They play Battlement, then tap this for 2. Also keeps him off red for this Stormshriek Pharaoh, which could be pretty relevant. We'll do that. Play a forest. There's the second Battlement. Nothing to play for 3 mana. Snacker. I could get a Snacker out now by using Winds. I draw 4 cards. I probably want to play my Aqueduct first, but I think that seems reasonable because this will come back later. This has flashback, essentially. So Aqueduct, bounce, Swamp, then cast Tolarian Winds. I could do it at any time, but this way it lets me, in case I got like another Knife Trick, I could use that. Snacker comes back. I'll attack. There's not really a reason not to, and they've seen I have a bunch of ways to discard cards. Yeah, they almost block, but realize it's not worth it. Pass here. We have a decent next turn, although scared about what they have. Just a generous end, not the worst. But I can Sifters, pitch this Eidolon, grow them both, and then I can get them back with this Abandoned Attachments. And I could pitch the Kitchen Imp. So here's Sifters, discard this guy, trigger these, and we'll pass. They do have a lot of mana. Nyxborn Hydra on a Genercent is scary. Winding Way, I can't draw to like a Circular Logic that I could actually cast here, so... Oh, luckily they whiff. 3 forests and a Wall of Roots. I mean, they get a Wall of Roots, but that's fine by me. Cast that. They're just going to pass. Let's abandon attachments. Bring these both back. But then I think I just want to discard the Kitchen Imp because I have the mana to use it. So might as well. Lorwyn. Not Lorwyn. Lorien. That's something as well. I mean, they have 6 mana, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hydra can be pretty big on this guy. I need to find a Vampire Hound so I can keep discarding these to grow these guys and have enough blockers. So Lorien probably, I mean, it does the best job to try to find that, but obviously I can't actually play it this turn. I think we're going to Dahada's Ploy then, because if I find it, I can play it. This will trigger these guys. Comes right back. We get another Sifters. Discard this guy. If I play a Sifters, it's another guy that's growing. That seems good. Circular Logic. Well, I'm not holding up a way to use that this turn, unfortunately, but that can be good later. And this is a 7-8. I can attack. They can't block. Best they can make this Generous Ent is currently like a 15 power. No, it's 10 mana total, so 13 power. Shouldn't be lethal. I think we get in for 7 while we can. I'm not convinced they're combo walls. They might be like mid-range walls. Just because we've seen a Stormstreak Feral and a Hydra in the main deck. And a Generous Ent that is going to be there regardless, though. They crack the food token to 13. Land Grant, revealing 2 Stormstreak Ferals, the Hydra, and a Tuk-Tuk Rubble Fort. I mean, this can be a combo payoff, to be fair, the Stormstreak, so maybe I'm off base here, but their hand's not that scary, so that's nice. Like, I can't Circular Logic here, which is annoying, and they're gonna Hydra for massive, but, like, we have the blockers so that we don't die to it right away. Yeah, they go on the Pilgrim, even. Just have another big blocker. It's not too bad. I think we already have enough card draw with these guys. I think we just hit our land drop with Lorien. Knife Trick. Can't kill anything at the moment since they just buffed this and this is only an 0-4. We have 7 mana. So we probably just pass here. Well, I could attack with this Sifters because it can grow. If they go for a double block, I can't do a lot about that though. Unless I can find like a Dark Withering, which we have in the main deck. I think it's probably safer to just pass. But we have a counter spell for anything, and we know what they have in hand. It's like Tuk-Tuk Rebel Fort gives them a couple mana back. It can help with like combo things. It's scary, but I don't think it's the thing to counter here, especially because we can Knife Trick it. There's a Lead the Stampede. Let's just make sure we have countered their mana. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. This is countering for 9, so let's cast Dahada's Ploy and counter that. Oh, we brought these back though. That's funny. That's really funny. So actually, I should have not... I auto-yielded to these, but now I actually want them in the grave because this is only 7, and they have 7 more mana. So let's turn off auto-yields, I guess. Let's abandon attachments in response to put a couple more cards in the grave. Discarding this guy. Trigger these. Well, that was pretty interesting. Discard the Circular Logic. Madness that on the Lead the Stampede. Well, obviously should have done that a little better, but that's okay. Counters it. And we'll just cycle this Lorien Snacker. So I can put these all in the graveyard, get the Snacker back. This will trigger the spirits twice, and then I can Dahada's Ploy to bring them all back, trigger them again some number of times. I think we attack with these guys. I guess this Snacker doesn't need to go. It's just chump attacking. And it'll come back, but it'll be tapped, so just in case, we'll leave it back. They do go for the double block on the big guy, though. So currently I can just eat this, or like the Generous Ent. They chump here. If I can find like Dark Withering, then I can blow up one of these, though. Or if I can get 5 counters on this Sifters, it'll just survive. We're doing 1, 2 here, 3 from a Ploy. We'll see. We're going to get to draw 6 off this Tolarian Winds, though. Get both stackers into play. That's pretty sweet. Look at that. There's the Hounds, although we didn't otherwise get very helpful cards here. So we're going to abandon attachments. Also, if we can just get 5 of these to trigger, we can just win with the Shipwreck Sifters that's already attacking. I guess if I did that pre-combat, I could have played the Hounds, but that's okay. Discard this and draw 2. There's the Dark Withering. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I thought for a second I didn't leave up the mana to Dark Withering because of the Ploy, but I did. Although we're leaving the Tuk-Tuk Rebel Fort around. Do I want that? Because that could be problematic. We're dealing 9 to them, so it's not going to be lethal. I just want to make sure I don't die to like infinite I mean, these have haste anyway. I don't know how they'd have infinite here. Tuk-Tuk's pretty good, but we're definitely casting this, so let's go for it. Bring this back. Discard Dark Withering. Madness that. This Sifters doesn't need to survive. We're already putting them to like 4, and we've got a bunch of snackers. So actually killing the Reach is probably the important thing. So we will kill this. I think it's the safest. And then we'll kill the Generosent. And then we go to discard, and we discard a bunch of Eidolons anyway to grow these guys even more. That was pretty sick. What a turn. All right, they go for a flush out, discarding Evanescence Pilgrim, and they just pass the turn. Knife Trick, nothing to kill with that, but we'll attack with everything, and they are dead. All right. Pretty sweet game 1. We don't really have a sideboard for them, unfortunately, but it kind of looked like it wasn't combo, which is good because our removal's not exceptional. Dark Withering is really good here. Knife Trick, not instant speed. Pretty conditional is tough. Oh, I guess they have a lot of red stuff, actually. Tuk-Tuk, the flush outs. It's not a ton, but if we really want, we could bring in Blue Blasts. Nothing's bad in our deck, and we do have the Circular Logic. I think we just resubmit, see how that goes. All right, we have Double Island. This hand is kind of rubbish unless we get some black mana. But we can just turn it into a turn 2 snacker and draw a new hand with the Tellurian Winds, so I think we keep it. If we get a swamp, we can also Madness the Kitchen Imp if we wait an extra turn. If we don't get anything, at least we're also putting a Dahada's Ploy in the graveyard, so like that's some value for later. Not exceptional, but honestly, if we're mulliganing, Tellurian Winds is a mulligan anyway. Obviously, we have to keep what we draw, but like, again, snacker and a Dahada's Ploy, like, some extra value seems like it's definitely worth it. Start with a Caretaker, and like if I get a swamp off the top, that's probably worth a Knife Trick. They land grant. They do have a Fairy Macabre, so okay. Snacker's not coming back, and another Kitchen Imp, not quite what we wanted, but they have nothing this next turn. Oh, they top deck a Evanescence Pilgrim, that's pretty good. Another Snacker. That would be really cool if they didn't have a Fairy Macabre, but we don't really have anything else to do. Although I guess this draws me enough cards I don't actually have to do it right now. But I mean, they're going to have the Fairy Macabre regardless. They're not going to hardcast it here or anything. But this would be honestly a really good start if not for that pesky Fairy. I feel like that's Fairy on Fairy violence, and that's just not really cool by me. We're going to cast the Tellurian Winds, discard our hand, a million triggers. We got an okay hand here. Another Snacker, which is nice, but 2 Eidolons that currently don't look amazing, although we do have a Dahada's Ploy and a Lorien. We can't Madness any of this. Bit unfortunate. However, kind of wish we had a Circular Logic that I could counter this Lead the Stampede. That's not happening, so I might as well just Dahada's Ploy out this Snacker now, I think. Comes back, and we also draw another Snacker, which I guess we will discard. That's all 4 of them, real quick. There's a Lead the Stampede, Valakut Invoker, Beast Rider, Generosent. Those are some good cards. 1, 2, 3 mana. Oh, we need to find some of our interaction. We did have one Knife Trick that we discarded, I will admit, and I would love to have it. But we also needed to hit black mana to even be able to cast it. Knife Trick off the top would be okay. Not the best thing ever. Another Lead the Stampede? Well, that's just outrageous. I guess just a Battlement and a Wall of Roots isn't the worst thing ever. Just a Dismal Backwater, that kind of sucks, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can get Wall of Roots, Battlement, and one of these guys. I could just Kitchen Imp and attack. I mean, I kind of want to set up Lorien next turn to get back the Snacker and just draw 3, but, like, I don't think Kitchen Imp attack is a very winning plan. So let's just... We don't have a guarantee on Lorien next turn if I go for the Kitchen Imp, so as awkward as it is, I'm just gonna play our tap land. Play Battlement and Wall of Roots, so they can play Beast Rider and Valakut Invoker here, if they want it all to be susceptible. Tuk-Tuk Rubble Fort. Oh, well, that's way better. Drawing pretty well over there. That's not fair. Dude, if they just didn't have that Fairy Macabre, we would have just been beaten down with Snackers, and they'd already be at, like, 10 or 8 life or something. That would have been sick. Sure, they attack me for 7. More lands. We're pretty much dead, because they also have this Invoker, which can just, like, throw around bolts, but I guess we'll draw here. There's one Knife Trick. Discard this guy. Another Battlement. That's so much mana. 6, 6, 6. They have a Valakut Invoker. We're gonna die. Okay, they do have enough red. Tuk-Tuk is important enough. Valakut Invoker. Flush out. I think the Kitchen Imps with, like, Generosence and stuff probably just aren't as good. We just try to go for a big Hounds, Sifters, a bunch of Snackers, and like removal and stuff. That's my plan here, I think. I could do a turn 2 Tellurian Winds again, getting back a Snacker, putting an Eidolon in the yard. It's not exceptional, but feels like it's decent value. Again, if we mulligan, it's just like we're doing the wins anyway. Land Grant. Kind of wish we had a counterspell for that. They have a turn 1 Pilgrim. Or Scattershot Archer. Interesting. I mean, they gotta go Pilgrim here, I think. They don't have a guaranteed second mana otherwise. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have a way to kill it. This deck could definitely use some snuff outs. I wanted to go hard on the Madness theme, but it's possible just some snuff outs would be better. No, they do go for the Caretaker. Interesting. Psycholorian for an island. Another Eidolon, not the worst. So I probably should just Tolarian Winds now. It shows we don't have a counterspell, but on the off chance they draw a Fairy Macabre right now, they wouldn't be able to snipe our Snacker. I'm not sure that's actually worth it. Actually, getting a Sifters down first might be worth it. We have to wait on this, but this guy growing is probably pretty good. I think that might actually be the play. Discard that. We do get a Dismal Backwater, so we hit our black mana for next turn. Now they play Pilgrim, and I guess they can play Scattershot after that. Sure. Which is going to take out the Snackers. Swing, but they'll be back. We'll do this because we get in for 1 extra damage. Well, those were some pretty bad draws, weren't they? Just a bunch of lands and a Tolarian Winds, which isn't even multicolored, so it doesn't get back the Eidolons. Another land grant. Forest, Battlement, and a Winding Way. Hitting some more stuff. Another Snacker. Snackers are useless if I cannot survive this Scattershot Archer. Attack for 3. I'm going to hope I draw a 2-drop that's relevant. I'm going to play a Swamp here. I'm going to discard 3, get these all back. Oh, we do get a Knife Trick. Honestly, I think I just Knife Trick the Archer, right? They don't have that many other Reachers, just the Rebel Fort. This is kind of our best. I mean, we have to work with what we have. This is our win con. So yeah, kill the Archer. Oh, and we get these back. I forgot about that. That's cool. All right, they have Wall of Roots, Caretaker, Tinderwall. We do kind of still need a Dark Withering and a way to discard it, though. There's a Rebel Fort and an Axebane Guardian. Why not? Top deck for the turn was Axebane Guardian. Perfect. Lead the Stampede. Just gets a Caretaker and a Hydra. Hydra can be another reach blocker, though. They bestowed Nyxborn Hydra on Wall of Roots, and we draw just some more lands. Guess I cast one of these guys. I might as well attack with the Snackers. One of them dies, one of them gets blocked, and one gets in. But I can probably bring them back. That's all I got. I mean, they get to Beast Rider Vanguard and activate that a million times now. So that taps for 6, so that taps for 6, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So 3 activations if they want it. Quarian Ranger just is a free one because it untaps one of these guys. Activate again, Quarian Ranger, why not? Activate again, Overgrown Battlement. Yeah, I guess this is just kind of a combo. This costs 2 but taps for like 7, so it's basically free as well. And they just keep going through their deck. We're not going to beat this, so let's just not waste any more time. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. All right, this hand really needs another black mana, so I can Knife Trick Kitchen Imp 2 times, but we're on the draw. We're going to keep it. And we are against a red deck with some creatures, so that's the other thing we needed is targets for the Knife Trick, but it looks like that won't be a problem. Just hope we hit a swamp here. Burning Tree Emissary. Another Burning Tree Emissary into a rally. I guess we're taking 7. I feel like it's just about as good if I just play a Snacker. It takes out one of these guys. Discarding a Kitchen Imp doesn't matter at this point. Same with the Eidolon. Maybe a Snacker if I then get a draw spell, but this is also more mana efficient. I think I might as well. They synth into a Reckless Impulse. We'll obviously trade for an Emissary. They have an Epicure. Aquifer. So another one of these guys. We die to just about anything. Block the Emissary. Somehow not dead to a Bolt. Although all we have to do here now is like Knife Trick Kitchen Imp. We go to 1. Eat a hero, or human soldier rather, and we die to an Epicure. 4 Blue Blast, Arms, and Suffocating Fumes. Take out Dark Withering. Dark Withering isn't even terrible. Like, single target removal is not great, but it is 1 mana, as is the Knife Trick. Kitchen Imp blocks decently. I guess Vampire Hounds is just expensive, so that might be worse than the Kitchen Imp. Yeah, that's really all we got. 1 island isn't going to cut it. Alright, we have an Arms of Hadar that we're going to play for, and we have a Knife Trick to hold off in the early game. We need 4 mana for the Arms of Hadar, but I think we're going to keep the abandoned attachments instead. If we don't hit another land, we'll just be screwed regardless. They got a Percussionist. Guess I'll get an Aquifer here just in case we get a Kitchen Imp with a Knife Trick. Sifters, though. Alright, that can block. Tellurian Winds, not looking to be what we want here. We're already low on cards. They have the Burning Tree again into Relic and a Galblast. Not as aggressive as last time, which is good. I think we just Aquifer and pass, because we can go for the arms next turn. I could have Knife Tricked this, possibly correct, but Synth into Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider, they're swinging for 5. We're going to abandon attachments. We need to hit the arms this turn, so I got to discard the Knife Trick, even though I would like to have that around. Circular Logic could be good in the future, but we're going to wipe their board. We got a Lightning Bolt. Probably just go into the face at the end step here. Indeed. Circular Logic can just kind of be a waste with the Relic around, but they might not see that, or I might be able to discard another card in response. Crack their Synth. They get a Percussionist out of it. Blue Blast is good. Alright, we're going to pass. Going straight to combat. I guess I'm taking 3. Well, we gotta do something, so I gotta discard this Circular Logic for no gain, apparently. Pretty annoying. We're gonna Knife Trick this Samurai, discarding the Lorien. Then I could Dahada's Ploy now, gaining an extra life because of the discard. Still hold up the Blue Blast. Does put it in the grave for the Relic, but I think that's fine. Discard a Swamp. They do exile the Relic. They have a Rally at the Hornburg. I think I'm going to counter that. There's a lot of other scary things that could happen. They could obviously just have a Pyroblast here, but 2 1/1s, unless I top deck my one of Suffocating Fumes, is definitely problematic. And the Bushwhacker's less problematic, honestly. It's 1 more damage here, but then less over the course of a couple turns. Although they Galvanic Blast us down to 1, so it looks like we're dead regardless. Well, this hand is interesting. Lands, Shipwreck Sifters, and as mentioned, our auto mulligans in hand. So more lands, but we can get these out of the way quickly. I'll play Sifters first, obviously, and then we'll see if we want to turn our hand into something different. Obviously we have 2, but it doesn't matter. One's going to discard the other, so it's just the same either way. We're against Gruul Ramp, it looks like, and they go for another Sprawl and a Rumble here. Lots of mana. And they find a Forest, because they hit Ram through, Rumble. I've yet to see a Rumble fully whiff, but it's been close sometimes, and I'd love to see it actually happen. Alright, exclusively lands drawn. Would love to find some Snackers and Eidolons to pitch. Maybe a Kitchen Imp for next turn. Dahada's Ploy, I mean, I might actually keep around. If I want to use that next turn, we'll see. I mean, most of these cards are bad enough. I might just cast the Winds just to get a fresh 6 or whatever it is. Avenging Hunter. See, if I could just discard like 3 spirits right here, this would be really cool. But alas, I guess Dark Withering off the top would be really nice. Blow up the Hunter, make him jump with the Spawn. Knife Trick would not quite do it. Beautiful. I mean, yeah, this hand is so garbage. I just want a new one. These are the cards I was looking for before. Now I can Knife Trick with the Eidolon. It comes right back, but like killing a Hunter, well, I can't kill a Hunter with that. I can kill a Spawn, which is honestly not nothing. It's a chump blocker, and I don't want to waste my mana necessarily. Next turn I can go for attachments and Kitchen Imp. Take the initiative, that's kind of cool. Hopefully they don't get Reach this turn. I think we're just passing. They scry 2. That is interesting. That means their hand has to be terrible, right? They have to have like nothing to cast. Because if they had like 1 boarding party, why wouldn't they want to like press their advantage here? Scry 1 to the top. Altasaur. Into Arbor Elf. Arbor Elf is a Knife Trick target. Unfortunately, this has Reach. They attack with a Hunter. Come on, Dark Withering off the top. I can kill the Altasaur and the Arbor Elf. That'd be really sweet. Circular Logic, not really what I need at the moment. This is a real pain, because like holding up abandoned attachments with Logic would be really nice, but like I can't do nothing. We're just gonna die to what they already have on board. Kind of want to Sifters and just keep growing 2 of these. Get our land. So I'll discard the Eidolon, grow. Fortunately, it wasn't a swamp, so I can't Knife Trick Kitchen Imp. But that's fine, because I can now attachments, grow these again, and then maybe like double block the Hunter, although they can already see that double blocking the Hunter is pretty profitable, so. But I guess then I could double block an Altasaur. That'd be something. Go to creature. Hopefully these will be big enough that that's not too problematic next turn, but there's no guarantee. Play a land. Arbor Elf. Yeah, their hand does look very rough. It's the only reason for the scry, and it looks like, yeah, they have all mana now. They do attack with the Altasaur and the Hunter. Well, I'd probably trade one of these for an Altasaur. Abandon attachments. Bring this back to hand. Discard it again. There's a Dark Withering. Okay. Double block here. I mean, if they have a Ram through, we're like toast, but we're hoping they don't. It doesn't appear to be the case. Oh, well, I guess their hand wasn't that bad. There's a wildling. That's something. But I can knife trick that. And they have to jump with an Arbor Elf. I also can blow up the Hunter. Yeah, knife trick, withering. But I can't also hold up the circular logic, which is unfortunate. Or I could knife trick Kitchen Imp, and then I take the initiative. And then I can hold up circular logic hard cast. We're taking the Hunter, but that's okay. Yeah, cast this, discarding Kitchen Imp, get back the Eidolon. I do have to attack with the Sifters, unfortunately, which, now that I already have the Kitchen Imp hitting them, I kind of don't want to. Although I guess it's not blocking the Hunters anyway, but even the 2 damage from this Arbor Elves could be relevant, these Arbor Elves. Whatever, I don't have a choice, so they take 5, we get a Swamp, and now I can hold up Circular Logic if I really need, or I can just Dahada's Ploy, grow this by 2, gain 2 life. But obviously if they have like a Hydra or something terrible here, we're going to counter it. And that's 7 mana, so it could be an Altasaur, but if they tap an Arbor Elf, I'm going to know it's a Hydra, so looks to be that way. Probably for the best anyway, because then I get to keep my Dahada's Ploy to discard a Dark Withering. Yeah, 8 counters on a Hydra. Please pay 10 additional mana. They swing for 5, get to draw a card or make a 4-1. Honestly, the 4-1 could be a bit of a pain because it's black, so I can't Dark Withering. But they go for the card draw, and we get another one of these guys. So I'll gain a life. We'll take the initiative with just the Kitchen Imp, leave back the Sifters. I think we're just going to Forge. They're going to Arbor Elf. I assume they have a Ram through here. Then I have a Dark Withering to react to that. So Dahada's Ploy, discarding a Dark Withering, cast it, targeting the Hunter, and then, oh, that's perfect. Honestly, a knife trick, because they can just attack with 2 Arbor Elves and they get the Throne of the Dead 3, but now I can just knife trick one of them, and they don't get to do that, so that's pretty sweet. Now I think we'll just Forge onto the Imp, because I don't really need this Sifters to be bigger. We'll pick off one of these guys, discarding this, and they'll both come back. Grow the Sifters some more. And we're in a pretty good spot, actually. 2 giant creatures, 9 life. I guess if they get a Hydra, they can put 5 counters on this, make it a 6/6, which could attack in, but... Okay, Boarding Party's a pretty good draw. Into Malevolent Rumble. Into Chrysalis Hunter Altasaur. Wow, that's a huge pain. And this is 1 counter short of being able to block the Hunter, so I'm going to have to trade. Or they get the Throne of the Dead 3. I probably have to let them get the Throne. I think I need this Sifters to block. They choose Avenging Hunter. Interesting. I guess they can cast that right away. But instead they're going to attack. Interesting choice. Well, we were probably going to let this Boarding Party through anyway, so we'll just eat the Arbor Elf. Go to 3. I mean, if they get to a trap and we haven't gained any life, we're obviously going to die. They get a Chrysalis off of that. Perfect draw. Exactly what we wanted. And I can't attack through, so we'll cast one of these guys and just pass to them, I guess. That would have been a great time to draw a Tellurian Winds, although we already drew 3 of them in the early game when we did not really want to. They cast a Wildling, attack just with the Boarding Party. I'm gonna just chump with this guy because I don't want to lose the Sifters. Hopefully we can grow it, and I can't really afford to lose the Kitchen Imps now because of the Wildling. There's the Sifters. It's a good draw. Grows this finally. Hopefully finds us something else relevant. Snacker's somewhat relevant. It blocks. They're going to Forge onto the Wildling, which means it's going to be bigger than this. So I guess I have to play the Snacker so I can double block there. Oh, right. I get these back. Although we're just dead if they go to the trap, which they will next turn with the Avenging Hunter. So I guess we're dead. I could attack, but it doesn't really matter. They can double chump. And even if I had cast an Eidolon, I couldn't have gained 2 life. So Extract a Confession. Sideboard not lining up great here. I think Last Rites is okay. It's a card that I've considered for the main deck here. Like, they're not a deck where Last Rites is exceptional, but if, especially on the play, if I could just play it on turn 3, discard my entire hand to make them discard their entire hand, and I can pitch some Snackers or some Eidolons or whatever, it's not bad at all. Kitchen Imps are pretty important. Vampire Hounds are good. Everything's kind of good here. I mean, these wins are not my favorite thing. Knife Trick kills Arbor Elf, pretty importantly. Wildling is okay. Jewel Thief. Kitchen Imp flying over is pretty important. I guess we already have Snackers for that, and I think they're better. So we'll cut a couple of them. We just have a Knife Trick. We're going to get rid of that. All right, here we have a Sifters on 2. I guess that's good enough. Well, that's only if I get blue mana with the Lorien, like untapped blue. They have a Sprawl. I feel like I gotta get blue-black here, in case we just top deck an island for like the Last Rites and the Extract Confession. Obviously, Sifters helps us find our next land, but there's no guarantee of hitting it right away, so I don't know. They have a Repurposer. Not a great one to Extract a Confession on. We get the Eidolon. We do have a Swamp, so I think I pitched the Snacker. Doesn't grow this, but if I get like a draw to like Abandoned Attachments, I want to get these both back. Counter on this wouldn't let it block the Repurposer anyway. They swing for 3. So if I could have that turn, Last Rites to take their entire hand, I think that's really good. Here, they can get a Chrysalis down. I can then still Last Rites to get their hand, but obviously the extra Chris is going to be problematic. Discarding Extracting Confession is not my favorite thing either. Missing a land drop because of it, it's not my favorite thing either. Maybe I just go for like a Last Rites on 2. Yeah, I kind of think that's what I do actually, and just hope they only have a couple big hitters. Which they do. Shinin, well, Shinin can be a kill spell for this. Rumble and Hunter is definitely being taken, but Rumble can find something else. I think I take the Rumble and I just let them kill this if they want to. Whenever you discard a spirit, dang, it'd be really cool if it triggered off their own spirit they discarded. They could just save this. They don't need to use it right now. Looks like they won't. They will swing for 5 though. I guess they could use it before blocks actually here, which it looks like they will actually. Okay, that's kind of nice though. They used 2 spawn, which actually makes the Chrysalis big enough that they have to sack it to the Extract, which it was not before that. And they didn't have to use 2 spawn. They only needed 1 to kill that. Ooh, Attachments is actually nice. Brings back Snackers and Eidolons. We still have stuff to extract afterwards. Okay, that's a hell of a draw. Bring this back, discard it, draw 2, get this and a Circular Logic. Snackers back. Then I'm gonna extract for Lorien and this guy. And then next turn I can hold up Circular Logic, and also I can start holding back Snackers to like double block the Repurposer, so hopefully they don't get anything good here. Just a big whiff. Relic is annoying. Not as much of a whiff as I was hoping, especially because it can blank our Circular Logic and our Snackers, but I guess it wasn't as bad as like an Altasaur, technically. Another Snacker. Interesting. Well, I think we just pass. If they cast something big, I can Circular Logic it for like 2. Hopefully that'll catch it, or at least force them to use the Relic. That's an Altasaur, so this would get it into a Jewel Thief. So we'll try to counter the Altasaur. If they pop the spawn for the Relic, then it'll counter unless they pay 0, which they do. And I have no way to put a card into our graveyard in response, which is a bit of a pain. But at least we have our Snackers that stick around. Although if I double block the Repurposer, then the Altasaurs and stuff kill me. Although if I don't block this and I take it and I'm at 7, I'd probably just die to these anyway. I feel like this shouldn't be that hard of a matchup and everything's just lining up kind of poorly. But, well, Extract a Confession. I am basically required, if I don't want to die, to exile all my Snackers to use this and kill the Altasaur, so I guess we'll do that. Fun, fun, fun. Swing with the Jewel Thief, we'll take it. Another Jewel Thief, and we get our 4th Snacker. I might as well just play the more expensive guy here. I'd have to double block a Jewel Thief just to not die to it and to trade for it, but we will do that. We get a Lorien revealed. We could play a Snacker, but it can only block 1 damage, and we'll take 3. Alright, here we are. We have a Tolarian Winds and Abandoned Attachments on turn 2. With the Snacker, seems good enough. Play an island and pass. I'll probably also cycle this Lorien Revealed for Contaminated Aquifer, since we have the mana here anyway. I was going to say that this opponent I played against a couple times several months ago usually played blue fairies, so that was what I was expecting here. Snacker could be pretty nice, although it's going to be tapped this turn, so they could get in for a ninja here. But another attachment's not bad. Knife Trick, definitely going to be good in this match. We need black mana, so it's a couple turns away, but we'll be good. They just ping for 1 and pass the turn. Well, we're just going to leave our Snacker back and pass back to them, not cast anything into their Spell Stutter. But I think we'll pretty happily just block here. They go for a Humbling Elder or Brine Barrow. That's fine. We can get the Snacker back pretty easily. Another Fairy Seer. Scry 2 to the bottom. We'll just let that go. Another Snacker is kind of nice. So I could Knife Trick a Fairy Seer, discarding the Snacker, and then if they counter the Knife Trick, I can Abandon Attachments, get back the Snacker. Could also just like Tolarian Winds, although I kind of like a lot of the cards. Well, I like these 2 cards in my hand. But I could Tolarian Winds, and if they counter that, then I could do another Winds or Attachments to get the Snacker out. But Tolarian Winds can actually get the Snacker out on their turn. I think I just pass here again. I mean, currently 1 Snacker is holding their guys back pretty effectively. There's another Fairy Seer. And they've been playing lands, so they only have 3 cards left in hand. Scry 2 to the bottom. Not finding what they're looking for. They do end up attacking here, though. So I assume they have a ninja, but I'll definitely block and trade. Okay. Well, now I kind of want to go for Tolarian Winds because I can get back 2 snackers. They counter that, then I can just cast the other one. And 2 snackers feels really strong here. They could have a Dispel as well, but then I get 2 just attachments on my turn and I still just get them both back. So they really don't have a way to stop me unless they have three Dispels here. Spell Stutter. Might as well just cast this in response. Discard everything, snackers back. Perfect. Also, we got attachments with a Kitchen Imp here. That's pretty sweet. Bring back the Eidolon, pitch a Kitchen Imp, and another Kitchen Imp. So we just have a ton of blockers. It's going to be basically impossible for them to do anything. And, I mean, I think I even just attack with the Kitchen Imp here. Like, they didn't have a ninja before. If they top deck a ninja, they still, I get to eat 2 of their guys for their ninja, and then we don't currently have a way to get the snackers back, but they probably shouldn't take too long to come back. Hardcast of One Mind. Harrier Strix. Okay, that's pretty good. Still can block the Spell Stutter, which is the main one I care about. And Brine Bear Intruder. That's also totally fine. We will probably not be attacking this turn then. Alright, I'll just hardcast a Kitchen Imp, play a Dimir Aqueduct, bounce this Backwater, and pass. I mean, it's probably a little silly to attack them for 2 anyway, but we traded 2 for 2. They didn't get a ninja, so I'm not really worried about it. There's the 4th Fairy Seer. This time scrying 2 to the top. They also can loot with the Harrier Strix. We get a Lorien revealed, though. I mean, hopefully their last card isn't Counterspell, because I'd love to draw 3 and get our snacker back here. And we do. Nice, even hitting a Shipwreck Sifters. Pitching an Eidolon, growing, pass the turn. They didn't loot, so that means they liked the 1 card in their hand plus the card on top. And they scry 2 to the top, so they like all 3 of those cards. Good to know. So this next Lorien might be a little harder to get to resolve. The card they kept might not have been a Counterspell, though. We don't have a lot else going on. I think we just go for it. Alright, it was. That's totally fine. We'll just pass. And I guess we can start casting Eidolons and attacking with them because they're very expendable. I guess I could have even cast this Enigma Eidolon there and then made them mill so they lost the 1 card they wanted. Although they had the Strix, so they could have looted it. They would have lost something else. Oh, Tolarian Winds. If that resolves, that's really good. Because we could use a whole new hand here. Let's see if their other card was also a Counterspell. It was not. Okay. 2 counters on the Sifters. We get 2 more Sifters. Cast that. Vampire Hounds. Alright. Discard a Swamp. Play another Sifters. Kitchen Imp. Might as well Madness that. And I think it's about time we attack for a bunch here. Still have a bunch of blockers. They have a Brine Bear Intruder, sure, so they'll get to eat a Kitchen Imp. It's fine. But they take 6. No, they chump the 4/5. They do attack with a bunch of guys. This feels like a pretty desperate ninja. Because they're gonna lose 3 creatures to like flip 1 Fairy Seer. I mean, they do get rid of the snackers, but obviously they'll be back. But they're in a pretty bad spot anyway. I understand they gotta do something. Replay the Seer. Scry 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and they hardcast a ninja. We have a Vampire Hounds, so I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna attack with all these Sifters, and I can like make them enormous, because I can cast this Daha's Ploy twice, bringing back, I guess just 2 Eidolons, but then discard them. Oh no, it's 3. Yeah, bring them back with the Ploy, discard them with the Hounds, bring them back with the Ploy again, etc. And they just take it. Well, that's definitely going to be lethal, I'm pretty sure, because we're already at 6. And we only have to discard them a couple times. And the Vampire Hounds, we can discard them for free. So let's do that. And we draw, and we discard this island. 2 Knife Tricks, too. The Snackers come back, and then we Daha's Ploy again. The Knife Trick, bring these back, discard, and discard, and we hit for a bunch. We definitely had the Snackers we needed, but this feels like a decent matchup. Last Rites, Fumes, and Arms of Adar, I think are coming in. Maybe Duresses, but I like the removal. Hound was cool there. It wasn't fully necessary. We were already winning that game by a mile. I mean, we're keeping the Kitchen Imps and the Snackers because they're just good flyers. I think maybe just like a Sifter. Like, we basically just win by stopping them from doing anything with all our flyers is the goal. This one feels like a trap, but why not? We have 2 board wipes. We also have the Dark Witherings, which are all very good. Abandoned Attachments could discard 1 of these. But if we just like get an Abandoned Attachments countered and then these get countered 1 at a time, we're kind of gonna be screwed. But just think about the potential value. They swing for 1. They have the ninja right away. Ninja the Deep Hours. So Knife Trick would be nice because I could just pop this guy. Sneaky Snacker is honestly a really good draw because I can just get that on the field. I could just cast it so it blocks, but I think I can let him draw a card. I think I need to draw more cards so I hit my land drops and stuff. We'll do this. Aqueduct ensures our land drops. Tolarian Winds is interesting. Play a Fairy Seer to set up their Ninja. This is another match where Snuff Out would be really nice. Like if these Dark Witherings were Snuff Outs, this hand would be obviously far better. They wouldn't have been ninjaing this time, I can tell you that much. There's a Swamp though, so that lets me, if I really want, Dahada's or Tolarian Winds into a Dark Withering, or I could just hold up Suffocating Fumes. I think it's probably better than just playing the Aqueduct and being tapped out of anything here, because I can also Dahada's Ploy. I think I have some options. There's a Miscreant, and no attacks. Well, if they're not doing anything on the offensive, I think I just go for a Dahada's Ploy. If they want to counter this, then I can Fumes them. That's pretty nice. Kind of assume they'll let this go, but they have a Dispel. I guess if they have another Dispel, that can be decent. Swamp, I mean, I guess they can't Dispel in Arms of Hadar. I think we just go for that. Nice. I'm not going to attack though, because they could easily have a flash creature and then another ninja. But that was nice. Makes up for the ninja hits. And now we can like Dahada's Ploy a Dark Withering. Another Fairy Miscreant after the first one dies. Love that. Okay, well they got a second one. Good for them. Don't rub it in. A third one, I suppose. Attachments with the Dark Withering. Okay. I kind of feel like they have a Dispel. I think they played a Miscreant last turn because they had another, and they wanted to hold up Dispel. And now they figured, well, I only have one Dispel, so might as well. So I think I just Aqueduct, pick up a Swamp, and I can still hold up Abandoned Attachments into Dark Withering or Suffocating Fumes. The Aqueduct is a little awkward because if I didn't have to pick up a land there, I could also be holding up Tolarian Winds into double Dark Withering, which obviously I can't now. But if they attack with these guys, yeah, if they don't do anything, I probably don't do anything. Yeah, I think it's fine. Snacker, that's nice. Yeah, we'll just pass. I could like Dahada's Ploy to try to get the Snacker out now, but they have 4 mana available. I can also get the Snacker out on their turn with Abandoned Attachments plus Dahada's Ploy or just the Tolarian Winds. Like Winds into double Dark Withering and a Snacker back would be really funny. If they don't do anything, I'm kind of tempted to just Abandon Attachments. I feel like if I abandon, they Spell Stutter, I Suffocating Fumes, then they Dispel. But then I get to Dark Withering, blow up 2 of these, get our Snacker back. It's not the worst thing ever. I guess we'll give it a try. There's the Spell Stutter. We'll go for the Fumes. Another Spell Stutter. Okay. Kind of wish I did the Tolarian Winds into Dark Witherings, but because then I could Fumes. But this is still fine. It's mostly what I thought, except that they have an extra 1/1, but they are tapped out. So now, oh, Lorien revealed. Tolarian Winds lets me double Dark Withering. Lorien revealed just lets me draw 3. Doesn't matter if I draw 3 though. Let's just go for the Winds. Like, I'm already drawing 4, blowing up their board. Well, half of their board. Cast this on a Spell Stutter. Cast this on a Spell Stutter, and we just discarded a whole bunch of cards. Oh, the Dahada's Ploy gaining a bunch of life is so much better. Not that the life gain's super relevant here, but like, discard this Eidolon, and then we're gonna gain like 7 life, 6 life. Nice. Like that after a Tolarian Winds is really funny. Alright, that wasn't terrible. Wasn't the best thing ever, but we also got a brand new hand of pretty good cards. Kitchen Imp, Sifters, and Dahada's Ploy are all really nice. They have no attacks. We are out of removal, though. There's a Fairy Seer. Scry 1 to the top. Eidolon. I'm going to cast a Sifters. I kind of expected to get Spell Stuttered, but fine either way. They thought about it, but they let it go. Oh, perfect. We get another one. I was going to Dahada's Ploy, but I kind of feel like if we just have another one, we just do that. First one didn't get countered. Now they can both be growing. But we're going to Kitchen Imp here so I can Madness it. Counter spell on that. That's totally fine. Cryo Shatter on a Sifters. Okay, fair enough. And then Harrier Strix. They can tap this and blow it up. It's already basically useless, so it doesn't really make sense to. So yeah, they go for the Snacker. That makes sense. Gonna attack. Okay. I should block a Miscreant here, because if I block the Seer, they pick up a Miscreant and they can replay it and draw a card, and I don't like that. So this way they have to pick up a Seer or a Miscreant if they already have another one in hand, but can't do anything about that. I only have 2 cards though. I think we're probably just very favored in this matchup, but definitely liking our position. They just trade for 2 damage. Not bad either. Knife Trick. Sure, let's ping off the Strix. Discarding this guy that comes right back, because we also grow our Sifters. And then I kind of think we just Tolarian Winds. Discard these, trigger these again. Then Dahada's Ploy, and if they counter this, that's fine. Still just attack with the Sifters. Dahada's Ploy, discard one of these guys, get back our Snacker. Hit for 3, play an island, and pass. They cast an Of One Mind, another Fairy Seer. Swing with a Miscreant and a Seer. This time I will block the Seer. And they have a Humbling Elder. I mean, they're out of cards. Don't think they're coming back from this. We're still at above 20 life. And a Last Rites, which is useless now, although it does let us discard these 2. But we already have a Dahada's Ploy to do that, I think. So let's discard one of these guys, trigger the team, and Everything comes back. Discard another one, get back the Snacker. Might as well Lorien Revealed while they're tapped out. Knife Trick, perfect. Pick off this Fairy Seer, discarding an Eidolon. They all come back yet again. Attack for 6. And if they have a string of like 4 of one mines in a row, there's one of them. We can always Last Rites their hand away. Which honestly, Last Rites discarding Kitchen Imp for these, just for the value, is gonna be pretty sick regardless of whether they have cards or not. Alright, they concede right there. And we finally take a match. Alright, last round here, and we kind of need some of our cards we want to discard, but otherwise we have a lot of good utility. Would love to draw a couple Snackers in the next 2 turns. Haunted Mire makes me think probably Gardens. There's the Garden, so I'm going to guess yes. Cycle of Generoscent, Wooded Ridgeline, okay. So Jund Gardens, although Generoscent's not super common in Gardens either. We do get a Kitchen Imp. Can't discard it this turn. We're just going to pass. Probably means I want to save the attachments till next turn to a Kitchen Imp then. Satyr Wayfinder, okay, so it's Dredge. That makes some sense. Double Giant, Circle of the Land Druid, Town Greeter, so no land there. Circular Logic's gonna be good. Kind of a waste to not use in attachments here. I feel like Knife Trick's kind of a waste, like it doesn't do much, so I'm just gonna discard this and hope we draw some more stuff. Well, another Knife Trick, another Circular Logic. I think we just want to get the Hounds down, because it can get our Kitchen Imp down, it can start dealing a lot of damage, potentially, if I can hit a bunch of other creatures. And I guess Tolarian Winds can be Circular Logic, a way to fuel that if I really need. Rumble into Acorn Harvest, Garden, Wayfinder, Circle of the Land Druid. And they take the Garden, play that. Plenty of creatures going around. Satyr Wayfinder, Stinkweed Imp, Momentary Blink. I know Dredge was bugged like a day or 2 ago, so I'm hoping it's fixed. They take the Survivor's Encampment. Momentary Blink can be a pain too. There's a Snacker. Cycle Lorien for blue. Unfortunately, Vampire Hounds can only discard creature cards, so I can't activate the Circular Logics with it. So if I attack with if I activate the Hounds to discard Kitchen Imp, then I don't have up a Circular Logic, and I might want that. So I think we just attack for 2 here. Well, they block, so it doesn't matter regardless. And they Dredge, and Stinkweed Imp does go back to their hand. It was not going back to hand before with the bug, so it looks like it's fixed. There is a Dread Return, which obviously they can cast for 9, although it'd be buffed up to 10 damage, and then they could flash a Momentary Blink. There's a Scrapwork Mutt. So they might just go for it this turn. Of course, Circular Logic can counter unless they pay 3. If I needed to do more, the Tolarian Winds would make it so that we discard the rest of our hand, and obviously it would work better. They hit more Dread Returns, Gatekeeper, so they're at 10 creatures. Could buff that to 12 if they go for the Dread Return. I think they have 3 mana, so if they go for a Dread Return right here, I can't Circular Logic unless I go for the Tolarian Winds, which I didn't want to do because I want to hold both Circular Logics, but this is going to hit me for 12, and that just seems bad. Of course, they have 2 Dread Returns, so they let this go off, then they Acorn Harvest, and then they do another Dread Return to try to kill us. If I counter this, discarding our whole hand, then they could still Acorn Harvest, Dread Return, and we still take a bunch, so I can't really stop one of them regardless, so I think I just let this go, and then hope that they go for another one. Unearth the Molten Gatekeeper. I guess that pings for some with the Acorn Harvest. I could counter the Acorn Harvest, but then they can Dread Return, and we definitely die. But this pings us for 2, and then the Gatekeeper can attack for 2, so we're down to 4. Alright, but they do that, and I can counter the second one with the Circular Logic. So we're not dead. We get a Swamp. Might as well play that. They have 2 Scrapwork Mutts in the grave, so they certainly can go for another Dread Return. We do have the Circular Logic, though. I think we just passed to that. Oh, they also have another Acorn Harvest. There's a Scrapwork Mutt. Discarding the Stinkweed Imp. Milling some more. Flashback Acorn Harvest. And they Dread Return on the Giant again. So I could just cast a Circular Logic, or I could Tolarian Winds, because I kind of want to discard the Kitchen Imp and the Snacker anyway. And the Knife Trick doesn't do anything, so yeah, we might as well go for the Winds. I did this slightly wrong. The Snacker should resolve after the Logic to be an extra card in the grave, but it will not matter probably. You do get the Snacker back, and then cast Circular Logic, targeting the Dread Return, counter unless they pay 6, which they can't. They get to attack with the Giant, and I have to chump with a Kitchen Imp, but they don't actually. Interesting. Probably because they just want the creature, I guess. Hada's Ploy. We also have another Kitchen Imp here. That's 3 Dread Returns, so I only have to fear 1 more in the deck. Although, no, they also have Momentary Blinks. That's why they kept it around. If they Momentary Blink this, I just die. So I guess I have to draw to try not to die. Draw with the Hada's Ploy. Well, we're going to attack regardless. They're going to chump with the squirrel, I assume. Dark Withering doesn't kill this. I'd need 2 Knife Tricks or like my 3rd Circular Logic. Yep, we'll deal them a bunch. I can gain some life with the dot deploy, but I can't imagine I can gain enough. Especially because if I want to cast this twice, I can't cast the Kitchen Imp, and I obviously just attacked and need a chump blocker. Yeah, let's go for the hot deploy. Hope to find something. Not something. Discard this, get back the Snacker. Shipwreck Sifters, Eidolon. Grows this. Well, they're going to go for the Momentary Blink, and I can't stop it. Mill 5 more. Activate Gatekeeper. Activate Scrapwork Mutt. Okay. I mean, this doesn't quite kill us from what I can see. Oh, they have the Dread Return. They have the last Dread Return in hand. And then a Circle of the Land Druid, and then they reanimate the Lotleth Giant. They did see a lot of their decks, so I guess it's fine. But they found all 4 Dread Returns pretty quickly, which made things difficult. We do get Spell Bombs. Extracting Confession almost feels like it might be worth it, since they have the Momentary Blink. Kind of weird. Suffocating Fumes and Arms of Adar, they have a lot of bodies. Like Knife Trick doesn't kill anything we really care about. Same with Dark Withering. Bit unfortunate. I feel like we had a lot of stuff going on there, and could have maybe gotten there, but what are you gonna do? Alright, Circular Logic, not to mention just a Spell Bomb. I think we keep this one for sure. Spell Bomb, they're going to have Ancient Grudges, so we don't really want to put it on the field until we're ready to use it. Play a Ridgeline. We're just going to get a Snacker right away. Another Spell Bomb's not bad. There's a Rumble. Hits a Giant or a bunch of lands. I assume they'll take a land. Yep, they take a Forest. We, unfortunately, are in a really awkward spot because all we can cast is Spell Bomb, and I'm not going to cast those yet. Really wish we had a land so we could Daha Deploy. Here's a Satyr Wayfinder. Triple Dread Return and a Rumble. They totally whiff, not just on lands, but permanents at all. And, I mean, Triple Dread Return, I almost might just cast a Spell Bomb now if we don't draw a land. I would love for them to hit the 4th Dread Return here, but, like, that's pretty good value. This one finds Survivor's Encampment. Mills 3. We even find the 3rd Spell Bomb. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to discard, which I guess gives us a free Kitchen Imp, actually. But they are already a little scary. And Triple Dread Return's really good to get out of there. I think I'm just going to activate it now. Actually, if I draw a card and it's not a land, well, then I still just discard a Kitchen Imp, right? Or no, because I can't Madness it. Well, I'll discard the Eidolon. We'll pay the mana. Swamp. Perfect. Attack for 2, and I'm not going to play another Spell Bomb. But having them both in hand is really nice. Getting rid of 3 Dread Returns already is pretty nice. They hard cast a Stinkweed Imp. That's fine. Attack for 1. Enigma, Eidolon. Well, I guess we are looking for lands here. Discard one of these. We find Arms of Adar. That's pretty nice too. And a Swamp. We'll pass. Circle of the Land Druid. Mills. Stinkweed. Gatekeeper. Momentary Blink. Attack for 3. I mean, am I gonna Arms of the Adar them here? I don't know. 2 Stinkweed Imps. I might Spellbomb, but I don't know. We'll block. I can get this back regardless. Dimir Aqueduct. Maybe a little weird, but I'm gonna How does Ploy discarding this Kitchen Imp. I have to do this now because I want to Aqueduct to play a land. Cast this. I want to wait at least one more turn to I want to have the Spellbomb and the Arms of Adar at the same time. I don't really care to Spellbomb them yet. Although we do hit a Swamp here. So I guess we Swamp because I'd have to discard 2 cards and I only want to discard 1, which is the Eidolon. They Dredge and hit their last Dread Return. Unearth a Scrapwork Mutt, discarding a Lotleth Giant. Okay, maybe I do wish I had a Spellbomb on the field. 2 Coffin Purges, sure. Because they can bring that back, and then I guess if they have 1 more land, they can also Momentary Blink it, which I guess they can get a land with a Circle of Land Druid. So that's all pretty good. So I'm going to take 8 here. I don't think we're quite dead, but maybe I should have put a Spellbomb on the field. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a terrible player against Dredge, but it's hard for me to know. I feel like every time I play it, it's either too late or too early. So what am I supposed to do? They Gnawed the Bone. I don't really care about that. They're just going to mill out is my win con. And didn't they get back a Forest? I'm confused why they wouldn't just Momentary Blink. I guess it's not lethal, which is probably why. I guess I don't actually have a way to kill this Giant, though. That's a bit annoying. I'll take 2 here. Gets exiled. I mean, we get to hold up removal. We get to play a Spellbomb this time. They have Gatekeepers that they're going to try to unearth, so I might as well just blow up the graveyard now and set out the second Spellbomb too. No, because that one would be too early, probably. Let's Spellbomb, blow up their graveyard. There's basically no reason to attack. Especially because if they attack me, I could, Dahada's Ploy, Kitchen Imp, and triple block, or just, Suffocating Fumes. But, attacking them, I just don't think my win con is dealing them damage. And they've lost every Dread Return. So I don't actually care if this goes to the grave. There's not a lot else I should worry about circular logicking. Although I have an Arms of Hadar. Probably just want to block and go for the fumes at the end step, I think. I guess they could have a momentary blink, but we already saw 2 of those, I think. No, just 1. I guess they could have 1 in hand. But currently they can't make colored mana. So I think I should just fumes here. I was going to wait until the end step because I can kill some extra 1/1s, but if they have a way to momentary blink it, I'd rather that doesn't happen. They rumble, hit Coffin Purge, Stinkweed, Circle, Scrapwork Mutt, they take the Mutt, play a Stinkweed Imp. I haven't seen any Ancient Grudges. I kind of think they don't even have, like they didn't bring them in. They might not have anticipated them out of Dimir, I guess. So here's when I probably am doing it wrong, but let's go for a Spell Bomb on the field. They also didn't leave up mana for their Coffin Purge, so I think I go for a Dahada's Ploy now. Buying back the Snacker? No, because then the Circular Logic I don't necessarily have access to. Not that I think I'll probably need it, but I could if they have like a lot with Giant from hand. They don't dredge. I assume they've figured out their win con is not dredging and it's just attacking now. I'm going to take 1 because I can just Arms of Hadar their board. If I didn't have that, I might Dahada's Ploy, Kitchen Imp, and block here, but I'd rather they just play more creatures that I can kill. There's another Stinkweed Imp. That's all of them, I think. No, I guess that's only 3. Coffin Purge the Snacker. I can Dahada's Ploy and Spell Bomb right now to draw 3 and get the Snacker back. There is still some value to get from the graveyard with the Spell Bomb, like Scrapwork Mutt. I think we'll leave it. I don't think I need this Snacker. There's the Mutt. Discard Gnaw to the Bone. We'll Dahada's Ploy, bringing these back. Oh, nice. We actually drew a Snacker, which I can get out with the attachments this turn. Sure, we'll do that. Discarding, I guess, one of these. Comes back. Arms of Hadar them. Still holding up Circular Logic, just in case. We'll pass. Gnaw to the Bone. Sure. Like I said, I'm pretty sure our win con is them milling out, although it's going to take a little while if they don't use their Stinkweed Imp dredges and stuff, but there's a Gatekeeper. That's probably worth Circular Logicking. I don't have a lot of removal. That can be scary. So let's cast this. Counter the Gatekeeper. Unless they pay 7. We'll discard one of these guys. Now we have our Sifters, so we can just win the game with those guys, I guess. So maybe it will be damage after all. Cast a Kitchen Imp. Sifters. Discard these guys. Start growing. I guess we'll just cast this guy. Why not? Unearth the Gatekeeper. I think that's fine. I don't think they can deal that much damage with it. Like, they can also unearth the Scrapwork Mutt. They could have an Acorn Harvest, although we haven't seen any of those, so I kind of assume those were sided out. In which case, they're going to be able to deal like 3 damage with it max. We can block it too. There's a Rumble. Finds the last Stinkweed Imp. Circle the Land Druid. That's some more mill. They do take the Stinkweed, which I may very well extract a Confession, collecting evidence to get the Stinkweed Imp for 1 power once the Gatekeeper's gone. That's going to be pretty funny. Dismal Backwater. Let's go for Lorien first, see what's up. Tolarian wins. If I hardcast Snacker, I get these Eidolons back, and then I can wins and grow these guys. That's kind of cool. Let's just make them sack their creature first. And yeah, I think we do cast this to get these back. Swing for 10, play the Backwater, and they go for the Dredge this time, getting a Stinkweed Imp back, down to 4 cards in library. They do hit another Gnaw to the Bone and a Scrapwork Mutt, and then they Satyr Wayfinder, that's going to mill them out. Alright, we get game 2. I mean, we have a Spell Bomb, Ban Attachments is pretty nice, and we can wait till turn 3 if we want for the Kitchen Imp. But I think just about any reasonable hand with lands and stuff is going to be kept with a Spell Bomb. Which again, we're not going to just throw out on turn 1. Because now they might have actually brought in their Ancient Grudges that I don't think did last time, since we didn't see them. Vampire Hounds. There's a Scrapwork Mutt. Discard Stinkweed. Dredge 5. So we have the wins. We also have Vampire Hounds to discard this Kitchen Imp. So I'm just going to go for attachments to draw some more stuff. We get another Kitchen Imp. Definitely playing the Hounds this turn. Can get down 2 Kitchen Imps and actually go pretty aggressive next turn. I could also just like Tolarian Winds to get them both, but I'm not going to do that if I'm discarding my Spell Bomb, obviously. There's a Wayfinder. Trying to find a land. Trying to find the way. There's the Ancient Grudge. 2 Town Greeters as well. Play the Forest. Sneaky Snacker. We're not playing Winds until we play Spell Bomb, and we're not playing Spell Bomb yet because it doesn't look that scary, but we might as well get these Kitchen Imps going. I don't think I'm going to attack with the Vampire Hounds because it just gets chumped, and then I take like 3 unnecessary damage. But I can get 2 Kitchen Imps going. That seems worthwhile. Now, of course, the Tolarian Winds draws cards equal to the cards discarded. So by doing this and not discarding them to the Winds, I do draw fewer cards later, but I don't know how long I'm going to take to cast the Winds because I'm going to wait on the Spell Bomb, and the Spell Bomb could be something to cast next turn, but it could also wait 2 or 3 more turns depending on how much more they fill the graveyard. Yeah, if they just cast a Stinkweed Imp, I guess that trades for a Kitchen Imp, annoyingly. So I could attack here, then Spell Bomb, then Winds. Not the worst, but I kind of think we can probably wait longer. They don't seem to have a lot going on. They missed a land drop. They didn't have any way to fill the graveyard. Their highest concern was like stopping this 4 damage. Another Stinkweed Imp, sure. Now we're looking for like an Arms of Adar, but again, we're not in a terrible spot. Some point I'm going to want to sandbag some of these to draw more off the Tolarian Winds, but I think 6 lands at least is pretty reasonable. Like the Snacker I'm not casting because I don't need to, and I might as well get the extra draw off the Winds, but like I'd prefer to draw a Lorien Revealed here or something. Cycle a Generosent for a Ridgeline. Okay, they're making something happen here. And then pass. There's the Arms of Adar. So I can just do that and hit for... I could hit for 8 if I want to do the Snacker, but if I'm blowing this up, I'm definitely playing the Spell Bomb because they're going to have 2 Stinkweed Imps in the grave, so I think that makes sense. So yeah, let's go for the Arms of Adar, then attack for... It'll just be 6. I could discard the Snacker, but I think I'd rather the card from the Winds. Question is, do I want to blow up the Stinkweed Imp so that they can't get it back and like play it, because it could actually be a pain, or do I just want to let them mill 5? I think I just want to exile them now. I guess I should wait till their upkeep, because they could have like a Troll of Khazad-dûm or a Generosent to cycle here. If they want to cast an Ancient Grudge, it'll just make me use it, so not a big difference anyway. So yeah, I guess it didn't actually matter which I chose, because they were going to make that choice for me either way. Kitchen Imp, we also just have Lethal now on them, if they don't have any blockers at all, which seems unlikely, but they did have kind of a rough hand, it seems like. But Rumble, I mean, even just 1 blocker is enough. Rumble finds a land or a 2-drop creature. Take the Wayfinder, play that. That finds another Stinkweed Imp and a Giant. So I would love another Spell Bomb. We're already in a pretty decent spot, but that would make me feel much more comfortable. That's not a bad draw. So I think here I just go for the Winds, because this is getting blocked, so the pump doesn't matter. And I get to draw 4 new cards, plus get our Snacker on the field, Kitchen Imp, Madness. Yeah, this feels pretty good. Attack with the crew. They got a chump, otherwise they're dead. Chump with the Wayfinder, go to 4, and I mean I could play a Sifters, but they're dead in the air either way. I guess they're not if they find a Notch of the Bone. Bandit Attachments doesn't do too much here. I guess I go for the Sifters, just discard this guy, and oh, okay, that's actually nice. I can play the Swamp, and then Eidolon comes back before the attachment goes off, so that's just free. They do mill a Knot of the Bone, so they're not dead yet. That can gain 16 at the moment. They don't have a Dread Return though. Not yet. Discard Scrapwork Mutt, or rather play a Scrapwork Mutt, which can discard a Stinkweed Imp. They do, and they mill a bunch more of the same, but 3 Giants in grave now, and another Imp, gaining 22 from the Knot of the Bone, which they're going to cast now, just so I don't have a counterspell up, which is fair, because I don't. If we can find a Spell Bomb, though, again, I'll be in a very comfortable spot. If not, they could pull this out. Be pretty unfortunate, but we get back 2 Eidolons, discard and bring them back. Suffocating Fumes. I don't think I can deal 26, even if I can wipe their board. But I guess we'll count. Currently we have 8 in the air, 10, 13. Every creature, every spirit I discard specifically is +3. Now I'm playing Black Sack. Is +3 damage. With 13, that means I need 13 more, which means 5 spirits discarded. And I can discard 1, 2... Attachments brings back 2, so I could discard 4. So I'm kind of close, actually. Let's see if we can get there. If I can draw another, we're going to discard these guys. Attachments. We're going to specifically not discard the Eidolons to the Abandoned Attachments because we want to discard it to the Hounds. Tahada's Ploy. No, because I can't play that and the Suffocating Fumes, and I have to Fumes here to wipe the board. And I didn't get any more creatures. I'm 1 mana short of playing the Ploy, which would get these back, unless I hit an untapped land with the Tahada's Ploy. If I don't, they pretty much have to chump at least one of these anyway. Difference in 1 creature could be relevant, because currently we're at 17, we're at 25 damage, yeah? Fumes their creatures, put them to 1. I don't think they can assemble enough. I think we should... It would be really cool to one-shot them this turn, but I think we want to do the safe play and just wipe their board, hit them down to 1, and then pass. Although if I'm hitting them down to 1, 3 is probably just as good, but it's a little safer because they have like a Scrapwork Mutt, which could theoretically hit us for like 2 damage that could be relevant. Oh, yeah, they have... Okay, they're limited on red mana, but they do have a 2 gatekeepers and a scrapbook mutt. Luckily, yeah, only 1 red. Otherwise, they could get all 3 of these out, which could ping for 1, 2, 3, attack, and then giant. It wouldn't quite be lethal unless they had a little something else, but again, they only have 1 red mana, so I think we're safe from that with no Acorn Harvest here. All right, they're unearthing the scrapwork mutt. Discard Dread Return. Oh, right, they didn't even have a Dread Return. Now they do. They still need to get 2 more creatures. There's a Rumble. That can make 1. Reveals Ancient Grudge, Gatekeeper, Encampment. Encampment can make a red, so that could get 1 out. 1 Lotleth Giant's not lethal, though, so I don't think... I'm still thinking they can't get there, but I could be wrong. Unearth the other Scrapwork Mutt. Oh, they could discard another Stinkweed Imp. Dredge 5. They hit really well. They only hit 1 creature there, so 15 creatures. None of these add, so actually only 14 creatures. They did get the Momentary Blink, but they're out of mana. I think we got there. Dread Return on the Giant. We'll take 14, and then we attack with everybody. We can also just extract this guy first. Definitely a close one. Alright, we end up with the 2-3. Not as bad as it was looking with 0-3 at the beginning, but 2-3 is not the best. We definitely felt pretty tough in those early games, despite the fact that a lot of this plays similarly to the normal Spirits deck. Then again, I guess I changed the classic unconditional counter spells and cast downs for very conditional madness spells, so probably just playing the actual spells are better. But man, I felt like there was a lot of cool stuff going on here. Tolarian Winds honestly felt, sometimes it was medium, sometimes it was not great, but honestly even just keeping it in like a medium opening hand that let us get a mulligan, that also let us keep like a snacker or Eidolons, some sort of value like that was pretty sweet. But then when we were discarding like 2 Dark Witherings or the Circular Logic or 2 snackers or Kitchen Imp, like I think there was really something there. That seemed really, really strong, and I liked it quite a bit. The Knife Trick is good, and I like it. I should probably swap at least a couple of these for some cast downs. It just felt like we definitely were not killing some things that we really needed to. Dark Withering was nice, so I could just swap more for those, but I think having a couple unconditional kill spells probably is the best. Kitchen Imps plus Snackers. I mean, feels like Rakdos Madness, really strong there. Definitely putting a little less importance on the Hounds in this version, but I still like them. Having them with the Kitchen Imps can be really strong, as we saw in that last game. And just with the Sifters. And, yeah, I don't know if all of these cards are going to make it into, like, the perfect version of Spirits, but I think they were all pretty sweet, and I liked them quite a bit. This is a deck I really enjoy, so I'm sure I'll be playing it some more on the channel. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you to my monthly supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check my Medify link down below. It's the best way to make sure that I can continue putting out daily videos going forward. Thank you to my current $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pi, Halkaz, Cody Cowell, Sty, and Emmanuel Mayer. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.